My son is being a little loud, so I'm going to put y'all on mute right now. He's playing this video game in the other room. So I'm going to put y'all on mute for just a moment until everyone logs in. We still have a few minutes. There we go. I'll just do like that for now. I don't think I put you on mute. Yes, I'm on mute. Or I shouldn't be anymore. My son was a little loud playing his games right next to me. So I am going to shut this door. Still have a couple of minutes. We only have 26 right now, but we probably have some very busy people this weekend rather, who are maybe doing some cooking or some preparations for coronavirus celebration. We'll give everybody a few more minutes. Hopefully y'all can hear me now. I think I turned it off properly. Let me check it. And that's on. Okay, good. For those of you who may have not been able to be on at 10 o'clock, if it's not mandatory, but if you wanted to work on a 2-hour credit on the color wheel, something creative, you can send it to me because I love seeing stuff like that. So y'all could send me a picture of your completed color wheel. And I need to get that probably by Sunday at 5, no later. Jeremy has to put the hours in, and that's the only way he can do it. I'll put on here by 5 p.m. Sunday. Okay. Hope that helps. See, we got a few more logging in. I've got quite the mess over here. I wanted to try to do this outside, but I didn't know how to. I bought a webcam and I wasn't sure how to connect it and then moving everything. So I've got a little bit of a mess, but we're going to do the best we can. For those of you who didn't see me this morning, I had prepared some jumbo size eggs by puncturing both sides of the egg and blowing out the insides. You can keep the insides and make you some scrambled eggs with them. And through the years, I have been able to save my kids that we've done throughout the years. I'm gonna do something creative with them. I just don't know what it's gonna be yet. But one of these days, I like this palette that we did one year. This one has the glitter, those little glitter pieces that you get, those little packets that you get with the clear glitter. That's fun because you can dribble it over it, and it's a lot of fun because it makes them sparkle. So we had some really pretty ones, and this just has been sitting in my son on the top of his closet for many years. He pulled it down for me today, and they enjoy me pulling them out every year and us just kind of looking at them, get a marbleized effect and stuff. I'm not the best at it. I would like to be able to be really good at it one day. And one of these days, maybe later on when I'm not so busy, I'll have time to kind of make them really fun. This one kind of matches me today. Okay, we've got 47 logged on. Very good. Awesome. I sent you some emails, or an email, Katie did. And this is just you'll see this one's the origin of the color wheel. For those of you who didn't know, Sir Isaac Newton, he was the one who studied the laws of gravity and physics in the 1600s. So in 1666, he was able to discover this entire color wheel process. It's very, very interesting if you ever want to. Many moons ago, I went on and tried to understand how he does it. And a brain like that in 1666 is just it's so far from my brain that it's amazing, and it's really a miracle what he would his studying and the prisms and such that he had gone through, his research to find it. And another thing is, I sent this to you. Why should you really care about the color wheel? For the most part, the color wheel is not just going to be perfect for eyeshadows and things like that, that you put on your clients, or the color of nail color that you put on someone's nails, or the clothing. All of those are very important. But one very important part too is as you begin to build your website. And brand yourself with business cards and stuff like that, knowing the color wheel is extremely important. If you're in design graphics or you work for a company um, um, that is branding for you, colors are the emotions, the colors that invoke in a consumer, and the psychology behind the choices on your website. So this is just a little information to let you know that this also has to do with branding, marketing, and sales. If you'll do some research, you'll see that jalapeno peppers are typically people who have logos with a jalapeno pepper might be red and green. And you'll learn through this class that red and green are extremely complementary. The Burger King sign, it has the three primaries, red, blue, and yellow. And that's the reason why it pops and makes such an impact on our eyes when we see it, because we know that when our eyes see color, we see this amazing image that either we draw to. It might be an outfit, it might be a shirt, a blouse, a swimsuit, something like that. And the colors, if you get into color design and such. So not only are we working with it on our everyday uh, selves, we are even expanding it so much as to towards our business and our marketing products like business cards. Making your brand stand out and appeal to your target, plus understanding that poor colors can mean poor sales. That's why you should care about color theory. So this is why you should care about color theory, because it's so important to your brand and your sales. Some of the other things, value. Um, Value is going to be the overall brightness of the color. Excuse me. A light blue versus a dark blue would be an example of value. Chroma is another term that's used. That's why in the hair coloring business, we know that chromatics is a perfect term for hair color being chromatic because it's our intensity and the colorfulness. And we know that chromatics are those pungent colors that everyone likes to wear for all those fashion effects that are bright, brilliant blues and pinks and purples on the hair color. So that's chroma. It got kind of cut off. I'm sorry about that. My ink is getting a little bit low. I've got some on order, but it's taking a while to get. So your basic color wheel is traced back to three basic colors, red, yellow, and blue, and they are known as our primary colors. And it's impossible to mix any other colors together to make these colors. So there are no two colors that are going to make red, and there are no two colors that will make yellow, and there are no two colors that make blue. So at State Board, and I am going to erase this portion right here. Here is the extra credit. This is not mandatory. There may be some people who are not socializing, and maybe you live alone and you just want to do something fun alone and get creative. Or maybe you have children, you want to make something like cupcakes or something and do something fun with the color wheel. So what you need to know for State Board on the primary colors is they are also called, and it's tricky on State Board, they'll use the word true, basic, or pure. And you can screenshot this with your phone if you don't have note paper at this time. So primary colors are true, basic, or pure. That means they are, again, it is impossible to mix any other colors together to get these colors. All other colors come from our primary colors. There's some vocabulary terms. I don't know that I sent you all of these. I'm going to look back, but I'll make sure that Alana's little test that she gives, again, she is not going live. That was my mistake. You know, so often I have to live one day ahead so I can prepare my teachers for what we're going through. So I get a little turned around, especially when it's a Saturday and Sunday. So Jeremy will come on from 2 to 3. And then from 4 to 5, Alana's going to give an assignment to your email, and you'll simply send that back to her. There'll be no live. Now, very interesting term, though, I want you to see that I think I may have sent this to you on an email, and if I didn't, y'all can certainly request it. But hue is a very, well, first of all, hold on. I may have gotten these a little backwards. No, it doesn't matter. Okay. Hue, what you need to know about the word hue is a pure color. So this is our red, our blue, our yellow, orange. And I forgot to write down the primary colors are red, blue, and yellow. You need to know that for your board. And you also need to know that if we were to mix all of these together equal parts, some textbooks say brown and some say black or black. So it can be either answer. I don't think you'll be given both because that would be ludicrous and very unfair on a test. So hue is the actual colors, our foundation colors, those 12 colors that come in that crayon box, okay? Then tint. When someone says the word tint, you'll see this white shadow coming down in here. Just try to memorize that tint is when we add white to one of those 12 colors. That would be tint. Okay. And then the word shade is when we add black to one of those pure colors. So it's going to deepen it and darken it. Make it rich. So sometimes when you're working on some of these programs that I love, it's a hobby of mine to work on photos and add hues or colors, shades and dark and tint and tone and such. Some of these software products like Picasa and stuff like that, they're so much fun to improve your photos. Then we also have tone, which is when gray is added to the hue. And then this is not a State Board term, but this is triadic. These are the three colors that are spaced around the color wheel, but it's not a term you need to know for State Board. And we got chopped off here a little bit. Analogous, this is when colors are all kind of from the same family. I'm going to give you an example of that. It's also called monochromatic. And monochromatic would be an example of all the colors that are the same family, like this. All the same ones. That would be like a monochromatic. They're all next to each other, completing a palette. Oh, real quick, I completely left off somebody during our session because I wasn't reading the chat and I ended the session too quick. Allison Seacrest. I will get your if your address has not changed. Oh, I got dye on this. I have a little gift for you because I had the golden egg gift, and so I'm going to give you this makeup palette right here. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll send it to you in the mail unless you'd rather me wait because they could crack. I'm not sure. Text me. But I'm sorry I left you off. Okay. And I hope she's online. Then our complementary colors. This is the one that you need to know. And they are across from each other on the color wheel. And hairstylists who are doing corrective color, you will never ever really be able to have a very successful color formula if you don't know these complementary colors. I want to write those down for you. Complementary colors are directly across from each other on the color wheel. They're across from each other. So across from red is green. Across from orange is blue. And across from yellow is violet. Some people say purple. In cosmetology, we say violet. The right side are the cool tones, and my left side are the warm tones. Okay? All right, these are complementary colors. If you can add to your notes that they are directly across from each other on the color wheel. You can go to images in your Google search to see different color wheels that are important. I have to say, and I saw a beautiful picture of somebody on the Facebook this morning. Gorgeous picture, and in my opinion, she had brilliant purple, vibrant purple earrings on, and then her lipstick was a color that did not really. It was like a professional picture, but the lip color was not complementary, and it really made you look at those two colors. It was very kind of conflicting. Um, Maybe I'll show you all that picture. So these complementary colors are really important to, like if I'm wearing green like this, across from green is on the color wheel is going to be red. So with this shade, it's more of a turquoise. So you would want to use like a pumpkin color type of hue that would look best on the eyeshadow and such. So you can use these complementary colors in your wardrobe and in your eye color. And then my eye color is blue. So the best colors for me are pumpkins, terracottas, and such. Although I like to have fun with them all, and I think we all do. So we can break the rules. So let's just start first. One of the first things that we do whenever we're doing our when we're prepping for this, I drink a ton of hot tea all day long on the weekends and about 5 cups at night. So this kettle is really hot. It just has like a warming thing. It's electric. You can get it at Costco for like 20 bucks, so it's cheap. And then this is my vinegar, and I like to buy vinegar in a big gallon because I use it to get the hard water off of my glass and my showers and mirrors and all my windows at home. I like to wash with this. So I have a large gallon of it. Oil is used to speckle your eggs. I have prepared some bowls right here. They have food coloring in them with vinegar and hot water already, and a cap full of any kind of oil that you might have at home, and that will help speckle them. Rubber bands can be used around your eggs to give the egg a design. This one might be kind of big for my egg because my eggs are thin because there's no egg in them. Because again, I have blown the egg out, the yolk. So I'm just going to strap that around there like so. Just maybe do like that. I can add another rubber band if I want. I'm trying to do this fast so y'all don't get too bored with me. I know y'all are adults. Just giving y'all some little hints. Oh. These bands, Mr. Baldwin has used them quite a bit, so I'm just going to tie it double. Well, I'm going to do one. Earlier I did an egg, and I did it, where is it? Oh, I did it right here. So you can see it leaves some stripes. I'm just going to do that for purpose of time. If you have some slotted spoons like this, you can also put your egg in here if some of you don't want to get your eggs all wet, so you can get like a slotted thing like this, and that will hold it. I haven't tried this one. I think this one would work too, but you can also dip it with this if you don't want to get your fingers and you don't have a glove. And then another thing that you can do too is you can get you some foil, and I'll do a little foil sheet here in a second. Let me put on my gloves. Paper towels are so scarce these days. I hate to use the paper towels, but 'tis the season, so I'm gonna use the paper towels, whether or not I should or shouldn't. I'm gonna go ahead and put on my gloves. Not that I have nice looking hands right now, no nails and not wearing jewelry these days. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna double layer my cups because I don't have bowls, and we're gonna start with our 3 primary colors. This is my hot water, so I'm gonna mix. I've got double layered because it does melt this plastic. Had these cups left over for a party that worked out pretty good. Hot water. There's some steam coming off of it. I'll move them where you can see it in a minute. I'm adding my vinegar. The more vinegar, the more intense and brighter your eggs dyeing will be. Now for our 3 primary colors, I am going to add red, blue, and yellow. And I was pretty generous with my vinegar. If you don't have vinegar, it's a bonder. Let's see how much is in here. Probably gonna have to use this entire thing of blue. So I'm gonna move my tools out of the way now so you don't need to see my tools, you know what they are. And I'm going to put my red, my blue, and my yellow, and I'm gonna hope that I don't spill any of these guys. I mean, crazy if I do, but we'll live if I do. It'll be all right. Okay, here's one I just did this morning. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and empty most of that blue because it's gonna take a lot to make it vibrant. If you leave your material, whether it's an egg or whatever it is that you plan to use, if you do this experiment, the longer you leave it, yellow and orange, you need to leave in the egg in for like 15 minutes. The other colors, they can go about 7 minutes on each side, and you do have to turn them. My neighbor had to loan me some of hers because I was out of some of my colors, and I hope that I can get this one out. This one's hers. Oh, there's a filter on top. There we go. Now, I don't know how equal I got it, so don't judge. We're just having fun. We're having online distance learning class. I'm going to use this beauty school towel to wipe my hands. I certainly need the trash. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start. Now, my eggs are actually going to fill up with a little bit of, I had some red on my finger, and it got onto the blue one. Darn it. And I'm just going to push this guy down in here and hope that he drinks some of that water. He's bubbling because he has holes on both sides, but he's still floating. I'm going to go ahead and drop in my red and my yellow. Can you see? I'm going to draw this back. There we go. Red, blue, and yellow. Isaac had so much fun, more fun than we had, doing this in 1666. So primary colors are red, blue, and yellow. I'm using plastic forks so that I don't have to wash them. I can just roll everything up in this old beach towel and throw it away. And you can see that my egg is turning yellow. I'm gonna let it sit there for just a minute. I'll put my forks next to it. And I'm gonna let that, ooh, this vinegar is strong, guys. Okay, so notes that you might be taking. Primary colors are pure, true, and basic colors. No other colors are created through our primary colors. Now it's important to pat each egg dry with your paper towel after you do it, if you're making eggs. Some of you may not enjoy this. I do it every year. Even my son is looking forward to it. He helped me blow out the eggs because I make him do that job along with me. Okay, primary colors, basic, true colors. Now write this statement down. The laws of color. That's the hardest. That's the hardest one for everyone to remember. The laws of color regulate the mixing of the dyes to make other harmonious colors. So if you could, somebody could type that, please, so that somebody can screenshot it. The laws of color regulate the mixing of dyes to make other harmonious colors. The laws of color regulate the mixing of dyes to make other harmonious colors. And trust me, that is going to be a state board question. The laws of color regulate the mixing of dyes to make other harmonious colors. Now, if I left this blue in here a little bit longer and I had not used enough of the my fingers are making it color on the other side. I'm sorry. I'm a perfectionist, I guess. Let it dry. And the longer I leave it in there, the better. I got a little bit of color on it from my gloves. Shouldn't even wear these darn gloves. The laws of color regulate the mixing of dyes to make other harmonious colors. And I'm going to take these two colors and make our secondary colors in a moment. Draining that little guy. That's our red. He kind of looks orangey, so if mine are off a little bit, like I said, don't judge. Oh, probably need more red, but that's all she had in her thing. Maybe I could make some more red. Okay, y'all pretend that one's red. Y'all see that red one? Okay, and then we're going to get our yellow. This one, he's a jumbo egg. Come on, drain, you little guy. I needed more red. I'm sorry, my red is not good. Not as successful today. Sorry, I've got to poke this guy a little more so he'll drain better. Otherwise, I'm going to have a mess. If you're wondering how I made the ends, I got a Phillips screwdriver, and I just tap it, holding it vertical on the egg, and that's how I make the holes on the bottom. And watch me get this on there's my yellow. I gotta get a clean paper towel. Okay, now if we were to mix equal parts of yellow and red, yellow and red, equal parts, we should get orange. I hope. Hope my experiment, it does work. My experiment's working. I'm not making a fool of myself. Okay, I'm gonna let that little guy sit in there. This is our secondary color. So this is one of the 12 hues. A hue is a color. Okay. They're not coming out as pungent. I should have put a lot more vinegar than water, but I wasn't sure how much to make. So red and yellow make orange. Now I'm going to mix my red and my blue equal parts to make violet. Doesn't look very violet. It's probably going to be brown, but we're going to hope. It's a mauve. It's not as purple as I'd like, but I think it's because my red. I'm going to add a little bit more red. When I do this at the beauty school, it comes out perfect. But we're not putting it on the actual egg, so that will, oh yeah, it's coming out a little bit more violet-y now. And then finally, the blue and the yellow. That's our secondary colors, so you can write those down. Blue and yellow equal parts. And it already looks green. And that one does look kind of violet. It's a little mauve-y, but I think we'll call it violet. And again, the longer you let these sit in the straight vinegar, if you get a lot more vinegar, y'all, they are gorgeous to die for. They're really pretty. You can see the green there. Okay. I'm letting it fill with some pigment. And you're really supposed to let it sit on one side for 7 minutes and then turn them over. So be very patient. If you're doing this with kids at home, just let them sit there and go do a puzzle or something with them, or give them a snack, and then they'll be nice and patient. So this purple did not come out the purple I want, but I don't know if you can see it. On my end, it's a lot more mauve-y. I'm going to soak it just a little bit longer. My fork is even mauve-y. Okay, so the secondary colors are green, violet, which this is not very violet, but y'all are going to pretend, and then the orange. So humor me on that one. All right. So, and then finally, so a secondary color is achieved by two primaries equally mixed. Tertiary color. So this would be the 24 box of crayons. This would be the 64 box of crayons. So we have the little 12 pack, the 24 pack, and the 64 pack. This is an R. Tertiary colors. One primary. Oops. And one adjacent. And adjacent means next to, and one adjacent secondary color. That's going to give us the tertiary color. Now, I would have a mess trying to do those tertiary colors. So finally, I just want to show you another little trick that you can do. So taking some of the eggs that I've done here, this is my oil, my vinegar, and my water, my canola oil mixed in it. And I've got a green one, and gosh, I think this was like a pink one. So right now, if you were going to say green, complementary color to green is going to be red. So I'm going to take my red egg just for kicks, and I'm going to drop it in the oil. And the oil, the purpose of the oil is to try to to only speckle, the oil floating on the surface is only to bond and grab to parts of the egg. And then you're done, and you get that. And I could sit here and do it a little bit longer, and that would obviously be a lot prettier, but I don't want to waste y'all's time. So you see, then you get that marbleized effect. And then you pat that dry. So that was the green on top of the red egg for a complementary tone. Now, when little kids are doing this, they don't care. It's all pretty and it's all a fashion statement to them. And whether it's complementary or it's not, it's totally okay. And then glitter on top of this is wonderful. Some people polish them and put polyurethane on them too to make it fun and for them to last longer. And then you get that marbleized look. Isn't that pretty? Oh. I'm going to set it with my little collage here. Now let's do another one. So I'm going to take my green one and I'm going to put it in this green would be a complementary color to it, would be more like the pink that I've mixed in the purple speckle bowl over here. So I'm going to pat that dry first. Is this making y'all want to go and do a few? Oh, Joanna, you never did? Cool. So here's my green. Now we're going to get a little bit of oil, and that makes it kind of shiny too. Now I've got this speckle bowl with some pink in it. So this color green is not really a pungent green. So I'm going with let's see, if white is added, what is that? That is a tint. I'm tinting this egg with the pink. So we're going to see what it does. Okay. And that's got the oil in it too. And then I'm going to take that egg, pull it out, and dry it off. And it's supposed to be complementary as well. Or it can, can y'all see it? This one's a pale one. So it's kind of cool. I know. Mary Helen. It's so fun. Okay, and so the blue one here, I'm going to try something. I'm going to add more vinegar to my orange one, and I think no, that's my yellow. Where's my orange? I'm going to actually do a lot more vinegar in this one. I have to set this up different for my kids because it's harder working in cups because they're all crazy fast. And I'm going to take some foil. The rubber bands are really cool too. And you don't want this to be smooth. You just kind of want to wrap it around your egg like that. And I added more vinegar. Now I'm just going to use my tongs here to dip this in here and soak it. Hopefully there's enough vinegar in there. I'm sorry. I should have just used a lot of vinegar. And yes, that oil kind of gives it kind of a marbling effect. Okay, I'm going to pull that out now. Get rid of this paper towel. And I'm going to take that oil out and drain it. I can hear it still in there. And I'm going to take the foil off. And this one gives a really cool effect too, the foil. So can you see? It kind of, hold on, let me get rid of my so if you don't have any oil or you don't want to mess with the oil, this can kind of give you the same effect. It looks I know it's hard on your end to see it, but it looks very cool. So that was the yellow with the blue. So you can see it's kind of a green egg, kind of matches me. And I'm going to towel dry it. And then it kind of looks speckly too. I don't know if y'all can see that. There we go. And so when you are having fun with this, what does it say? Excited. I like that. Okay. And so let's see. This one right here is my red. And it came out very red now, but not as bright as I wanted because I had too much water and vinegar per ratio of my okay, so across from red is green. So I'm going to drop it in the oil mixture. And I'm going to swirl it around with my tongue. And I really think that the complementary colors on the egg that's being swirled around the oil, the oily one, I think is probably one of my favorites because the complementary colors are doing their job. And then there we go. So pretty. Okay, so primary colors, basic, true, pure colors, not mixed with by any other colors. All other colors created by them. And then secondary colors we get from red, blue, and yellow. Those three. If we mix those three together, we get black or brown. Our tertiary colors are a mixture of a primary and an adjacent secondary. So on the color wheel, you'll need to look. If it's primary, right next to it is the other color, and that's when we mix those two together, we get the tertiary colors. So again, this is like your 64 box, that's your 24 box, and the 12 hues are your primary colors. Complementary colors are meant to help us in a great way, especially with hair color. So if someone has a lot of orange in their hair and we want to extract that, we've got to use a blue tint to do so. If someone has a lot of green because they box dyed their hair, well, we got to actually go in there with a bright red or red orange to neutralize and complement and adjust that to where it's beautiful. If someone has that banana happy yellow hair and it just looks a little too stark, we can go in there with a violet based tint, apply that to the yellow hair, and it will come out this beautiful neutral color tone. Our warm tones are the red, the orange, and the yellow. Our green tones are the blues, the greens, and the violets. Keep in mind that black does fall under a cool tone, okay? There are copper reds that are warm, and there are other reds that are red-violet that fall under the cool family, okay? So you need to be careful of that. And that is pretty much what I wanted to make sure y'all went over. So again, we have some gorgeous, beautiful eggs here that we can incorporate and learn from as we go through this holiday season of just experimenting with our colors and thinking about our colors. They've got these fantastic neon ones now that are super, super cool and fun. Again, use those rubber bands. Let me see if I can get the rubber band to work one more time before I let y'all go. Because I'm going to save some of these, and later on this afternoon, we as a family are going to do this. Grown kids and grown people doing this. You can also use a crayon. I think someone in the feed may have mentioned it, maybe Laura. And you can use crayons on them, and the white crayon will prevent the dye from penetrating the egg. I'm going to get one more band and see if I can get it to strap on here and stay. With these gloves, it's a little tricky in general. You can also use blue masking tape, painter's tape, and that's a lot of fun. The foil is a lot of fun if you don't want to mess with the oil. I better not take my chances here. I'm going to dip this guy in the blue. And again, the longer, the more vinegar you use, and the longer you leave the egg in, the better the result. Here is our green. It looks blue to y'all. So if we wanted it monochromatic, we can go with another green. And I'm going to do that right now while this blue one is resting here for a second. I'm going to put monochromatic and stay within the same family. I'm going to use that green with the oil and see what happens. So I'm going to stick with the monochromatic method. And I'm just going to roll that guy around here with the oil, and it's going to attach with the oil pocket. Stir that oil. I probably should have stirred it before I sat it into this oil mixture, but I'm gonna stick with the monochromatic and see what happens. So you can go monochromatic. You could have a whole plate full of different greens if you wanted to by adjusting the value of the solution, whether it's the chroma is real intense or not real, very intense or not very intense or whatever. Pat your extra, get it closer to y'all. I'm gonna come back here and see. So that's pretty cool. The way that I'll put the towel behind it, I think you can see it better. So that stays within the green family, and you can't see it, but I can see lighter shades of green. I wonder what would happen if I just put that green back in this bowl and I get it even more monochromatic without the oil this time. Although I'm poisoning my green here by putting an oily substance in there, but hopefully it won't attach. But you could stay within your color tone family and get a variety of monochromatic. I'm gonna put the towel like that. So see, you get some variation in there. It's hard for y'all to see the variation. On my end, it's a lot more brilliant. And then this is when you would go ahead and pat your glitter on there and let it sit. And the more you experiment, the more you can get gorgeous swirls and such too. And then if you want them like really pungent, you could get them a lot deeper, like this one that I did just a minute ago. That was, we left it in there longer, as you can see. So the longer it sits, the better. You'll get an intensity and a more value to it. So I hope y'all enjoyed doing this with me. Give me some likes. Yeah, I appreciate it. Your little quiz will be about 15 questions to send to Alana. Don't forget, you can make a color wheel, send that in to me. And any kind of fun stuff creativeness that you have. Maybe you are making a mask and you want to show me different colors of the mask. Maybe you want to get white material and make me the color wheel on a mask, or you can just get as creative as you want. And you can use whatever materials you want to do this. And again, I leave you with a little sparkle and a little fun. And I hope that y'all are enjoying the cool weather this morning. And oh wait, my blue one with the bands. We didn't do that one. Hold on, and then I'll let y'all go one more egg. I do like the way this one turned out. That guy turned out great. And if you oil him up with the canola oil on the outside, ooh wee, they look really, really shiny and pretty, I will tell you. I'm no expert, but one of these days I'm gonna do the cloth and the fabric and all that fun stuff. Hope I didn't get other colors on there. I'm going to remove the bands and you'll see that you get some striping from it. My bands are not on there very good because I wasn't being careful enough. And then watch your bands because they're going to have a bunch of color pigment on them. And then if you want to drop it in the yellow and make it have a green hue to it, a complementary tone, then those white stripes could be a little more bold. And I could leave it in there longer, of course, but again, I don't want to bore y'all. I know y'all have a busy weekend, but I thought it would be fun for us to get some clock hours. And you can still see the stripes in there. So have fun with your with knowing the importance, again, branding and making everything look nice and complimentary. Thinking about your facial features, your clothing, your outfits, your nail color that goes with an outfit when you're taking portraits and family portraits and stuff like that. That's important. And I will be working on these for the rest of the afternoon with the kids. I might have to kind of start all over and get into some grimy clothes. Your hot water, if you have a tea kettle, again, that works really good. Your little, the eggs can sit inside of it really good if you have one of those. Make sure to protect all of your surfaces from such. You can get vinegar in a large container at Home Depot. This is like, it's natural and a safe brand right here. It's called Green Globber. and it's for home and garden use too. Your canola oil or olive oil to make them shiny, and hot water, vinegar, and you don't even need the little kit. You just need some food coloring, and have fun with those neon colors too. Send me some pictures by 5 o'clock on Sunday of a color wheel that you've created out of something unique, um, and show me some fun stuff. I hope everyone has everyone stays safe and enjoy. Y'all will see Jeremy at 2 to 3 o'clock because I got my schedule all mixed up because forgot it was Saturday. Y'all will see Jeremy from 2 to 3, and it's you won't need necessarily any paper. There will be a handout sent out to you at 1:30, and then he's going to go over that handout with you from 2 to 3. Then you're going to get an email from Alana for an assignment that you need to send to her today, and her email will be on there for you. And then you have this if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want to. And Allison got the makeup kit, and then check your email too for your little additional information. If you don't understand some of this and you need additional support material, feel free to text me. I'm just a text away, and I can shoot you some more information if that helps. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the weekend, and enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself and have a blast. And have some fun using your food colorings and learning your color wheel and memorizing it. Hairstylist, please, 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 please. If you don't know this right here, you're in big trouble and probably shouldn't do hair color at all in the salons. And every teacher will tell me so. Tell you so. So you've got to know your complementary colors, that they're across from each other. All the other stuff with Isaac Newton, 1666, the primary, secondary, tertiary color, all that is fascinating, interesting, and lovely. But knowing your warm tones, your cool tones, complementary colors is essential and critical, 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 especially makeup application for people who enjoy makeup application. You've got to be careful and know that those shades, just like I was showing you on my little palette here, some people want it monochromatic and some don't. If you're doing funky eyeshadow, just make sure that the violet or the yellow or the gold is on the violet's on the lid, real strong, vibrant purple, and then the tint or shade that's next to it is a bright, bold gold next to it, and violet and yellow, that'd be funky, cool, be awesome, really fun. But keep those colors and those eyeshadows, if you do those pungent pigments, keep those together because they are designed to do this. And they are designed to neutralize and give us a pop. And you'll see that. So if you have fun with makeup or nail color, incorporate these with those because you will see amazing. Polka dots with orange and blue, fantastic. Stripes, yellow and violet bikinis, very cute. Swimwear, very cute. So love you guys. Be blessed, and Jeremy, I'll see y'all at 2. If you have any questions, just no handouts to turn into Jeremy at all. You will just simply it's a 1-pager, and he's going to go over it, so y'all can read it at 1:30 to 2 o'clock when he comes on. It's going to be some talking points, and all of you are going to have to engage in your chat in order to get that credit. So he's going to see you at 2, and then assignment, and then that, and we're done. And we'll continue with professional ethics and success on Monday. Adios, friends.